Waverly Avenue wasn't what I expected. I stood on the southeastern corner of where it crossed with St. Charles and stared up at the Avalon, a hotel I'd avoided my whole life. This was where the medics said Channing had been shot. I'd always pictured this part of town as dismal, seedy, dangerous, and it had been, until I reached the crossroads. There, the smell of the city had shifted from exhaust and grease to the florid citrus of the sweet olive bushes planted in oversized pots outside the hotel. The hotel's glazed white terracotta facade gleamed like a bright jewel in the ink-black night. Stone garlands draped the arched entrance. Gold carpet swathed its massive stone staircase, and half a dozen windows with gilt etchings glimmered on either side of it. I looked around for signs of the shooting, for some indication that I wasn't hallucinating. But the street was eerily quiet. The silence crept across my skin, urging me toward the safety of the Avalon's golden lights. But it was the anger still burning in my stomach, as hot as a yawning pit in hell, that spurred me toward the door. My brother was lying wounded in a hospital bed, and this place had the nerve to look like the Ritz. I'd made it to the top step, only feet from the entrance, when the rotating door spun, and a tall, dark-haired man with a square jaw dusted with stubble stepped into the night air and looked directly at me. Fear gripped my chest, and I froze. I'd at least hoped to make it inside before getting caught. The man was dressed entirely in black, his jacket hooked over his shoulder with his index finger. He didn't say anything, just polished a glossy red apple on his sleeve and studied me with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. I glimpsed a flash of white teeth as he took a bite. The apple's flesh snapped with a crack that sent another thrill through me, a side effect of being in dangerous territory. Or maybe it was the man himself, because I couldn't tear my gaze away from his hooded eyes, from his mouth, the way he leaned ever so slightly in my direction. Was he a hotel guest? That was probably wishful thinking, given where I was. My heart fluttered like butterfly wings in my chest, waiting on what felt like the edge of a cliff for something. Say something. But I couldn't speak, couldn't move. I was riveted to the spot. The handsome stranger cocked his head as if he was waiting too, giving me a better glimpse of high cheekbones as sharp as his brutal jawline and a pair of full sculpted lips. Green eyes, the color of soft jade, raked down my body,